Hello, everybody. You can call me Hunch. Today I'm going to be talking to you, Moon Boys and Moon Girls, because I'm going to be talking about Terra LUNA and what I think about it and how I'm perceiving it to be, okay? So before I get started, I just want to say the word decentralization gets thrown around a lot, and as an industry and as players in the industry, we need to come to an understanding of what it is. Because to me, it's decentralization at its core is basically, can anyone shut down the network because they don't like it, because they have ill will towards it, or they don't like the way it operates? Can they manipulate its supply of the crypto, etc.? How distributed, how many nodes, things like that, right? Because if not that, then what is it, right? You know, and also what's very important about it is that no one means more than someone else. But that being said, let's dive into Terra LUNA. Okay, so this is Terra LUNA, okay? And I know you moon people are getting super pumped here because you see this, okay? Now, why do I think that happened? I think it has a lot to do with Russia and Ukraine, okay? A lot of people probably wanted to get out of the ruble and get into US dollars, okay? Now, I also think it's pumping because people like this, Mike Novogratz, which is a venture capitalist guy, okay? He was in, you know, the banking industry, you know, major banking industry, investment banking for a long time. And then he became a Bitcoin guy. Then he became a Luna guy, right? And I think it's because his bags are so packed, like he could go anywhere in the world, okay? With how filled his bags of Luna are. Because it's all he talks about. You have to listen closely, man. They drop hints. They want to pretend like they're not biased, but they're biased. Okay. Now, I'm gonna plead my case a little bit further. If you don't know this guy, his name is Guy, and he's from the Coin Bureau. He's a big YouTuber, right? Okay. So let's see what he has to say.
That Terra is easily one of my favorite.
This is important.
Projects. That said, there's a reason why I don't hold Luna as part of my crypto portfolio, and that is transparency. Those of you who watched my previous video about Terra will recall that I had a lot of trouble tracking down how Luna's supply is distributed. This is because Terra's own blockchain explorer doesn't really show you anything, and the few third-party blockchain explorers that do lack crucial details and Luna's distribution. It would also be nice to know how involved these entities are in ensuring UST maintains its peg, because if they're involved in market making behind the scenes, then it's obviously hard to say it's a truly 100% decentralized stablecoin.
Okay, so this is my point. USDC is centralized, Tether's centralized. Everybody knows that, right? And in fact, I'd probably rather have a centralized entity controlling it because at least there's a chance that they're backed one-to-one by securities, right? Now, I'm telling you, we've got to stop throwing around this decentralization thing because it's getting ridiculous, right? Everything is decentralized in terms of crypto right now. Just because Bitcoin is decentralized doesn't mean you can ride on the back of it, release a token, and call yourself decentralized, okay? It makes no sense. And honestly, I think we're shooting ourselves in the foot, and we're really messing up here, and it's causing a lot of problems. So get yourself educated, first of all. Stop being lazy and stop saying, oh, my bags are packed out, I wanted to go to the moon, okay? Because you're causing a lot of problems, quite frankly, because you don't understand crypto and you don't understand what it's about. Now, what did Terra do? And that also leads me to believe that it's centralized Garbo, okay? They bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, and that's great. And I think that's a brilliant marketing move because I think eventually everybody's going to figure out that USDC is centralized. I mean, people say USDC like it's decentralized. It's not decentralized. Just because it settles on Ethereum and the Omni layer on Bitcoin and wherever else. Or maybe that's Tether, but Tron or whatever. And then Tether is centralized too, right? So I think eventually everyone's going to figure out that Luna is not as decentralized as everybody thinks. And they're going to go, but look, we're backed by Bitcoin. And actually, if any, you know, what do you call these? Stable coins prevails, it might be one backed by Bitcoin. So I'm not completely hating on Luna. I think there's a chance that it does well, right? But nonetheless, I think this is pure marketing, right? And purely because people are going to realize that these systems are not as decentralized as we make them out to be. So before we go any further, I want also to say that if you don't understand how Luna works, it's basically works through a burn mechanism to stabilize the value of the UST, which is not backed by anything. Okay, so you can basically mint $1 with Luna, right? And it burns some amount. I'm not going to get into the details, but you can read about it, and then you can convert it back, etc., etc. But what I want to bring about through observation is how is that any different than another crypto, say Stacks, for example? Let's show you, right? This is Arcadico, which is kind of like a DeFi thing, right? More DeFi thing than some other things, I would say, where you can convert Stacks to what do you call it? USDA, right? And there's other things, other swaps on Stacks where you can convert Stacks to XUSD, right? All derivatives of the dollar, right? Not backed by the dollar, just minted, right? And I actually tweeted about this. Let's see if I can go find it under my Twitter, right? So if you go to my Twitter, I said, this is actually pretty interesting. I said, the only decentralized stablecoin is one minted with Bitcoin, right? So I think they can do this with Lightning and Stacks, where you swap Bitcoin, the gas is paid in Stacks, and you get $1, right? So that's essentially what Luna is doing, right? It's a venture capitalist saying, we would like to control the money supply. We'll call it decentralized to meet face of these crypto guys. And we'll really kind of control how the mechanism works, right? You know, and all you guys can come at me with all your node baloney and stuff, right? There's forces at play that are controlling this type of thing, right? There's a lot of money being funded to the developers of Luna. There is some type of control going on there, right? So I'm making this observation, and you guys can either agree or disagree with me, but I digress. How is Luna any different than this, right? To be honest with you, I don't think it is. I think it's a bunch of baloney. I think it's a bunch of marketing nonsense. I don't think it has any ounce of decentralization. And if you do think that, I think you are misguided, and I think you don't understand crypto, because crypto is far more nuanced philosophically than it is technically, okay? Because technically you can come up with any mumbo jumbo you want, but if somebody is controlling the strings behind the scenes, it's not decentralized, right? Even if there's a guy in charge of the development, right? Like Bitcoin, there's no Satoshi Nakamoto. There's nobody tangling the streams like Vitalik Buterin, right? That is a component of decentralization. So what do I think? I think it's a bunch of garbage, and I'm going to continue to stick with that. And you can call me a Bitcoin maxi all you want, but I don't think you understand crypto one bit. You can call me Hunch. I think Terra Luna is garbage, and I don't think it may do well. It may do fine because people like centralized coins, and you know, you can go watch more of this video. I actually recommend it. He talks about how USDC and Tether are going to attack Terra Luna. But anyway, I think they're all centralized. Not that I have a problem with it. Just moving on Bitcoin, right? Mint it on Bitcoin. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of all this Trojan horse decentralization nonsense, and you should be too. You can call me Hunch.